Hello, 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 everyone. This is your girl, Rosabel Hernandez, reporting from the gym in Jerusalem. So, as actually the holidays is upon us, and we're about to reach 2023, literally like a week or 10 days, away. I actually want to share a few things about this year, my 2022 Goliath moments. Goliath moments. We all have our Goliath moments. And those Goliath moments persuade us, invoke the David inside of us to fight, to be courageous, to be bold, to understand who you are, to stretch you, to face your Goliath head on. Things that you didn't even think you would do or confront. So I would say the first Goliath moment for me was in January of this year. And as many may not know, but for the most part, Israel was closed for travel for most of the pandemic. And so literally a week before my brother arrived, they decided to lift some of the restrictions. And so when my brother came, I made it possible for him to enter the country, but there were some limitations. There were some restrictions to that, which included, as soon as you land, and because he's not on my travel orders, but just came as a tourist, right? Even though he was family member. But anyway, he managed to come when the rest of the world couldn't come. And I told him ahead of time, you may have to go to a COVID hotel. And see, this is the problem, is that people don't listen sometimes. He didn't listen to instructions. He listened to part of the instructions. But I did tell him that there was a possibility that he was going to go to a COVID hotel. Now, the COVID hotels, they were supposed to send him and others were supposed to be at least 3 to 4 star hotels, not 0.5, if you know what I mean. Okay? And so he landed, he was jet lagged, he was hungry, he was tired, and he at least listened to part of what I advised him, which was make sure you get on the shuttle that goes to Jerusalem, not Tel Aviv. So here he was, he landed, and he started sending me pictures. He started telling me details of what was happening. And it started to get me nervous. It started to get me panicky. The next thing you know, he's on a shuttle to Jerusalem. Thankfully, they gave him the name of the hotel, which was a crappy, effed up hotel, that I made phone calls and there was nothing no one really could do, because that was part of the situation of the restrictions on coming before all the travel restrictions were lifted, right? So he had to take a PCR test upon arrival. We had to wait for the results, whether positive or negative, and then he had to quarantine for 7 days after that. Okay? So here he was in this jacked up hotel, and your girl here, he started to send me all kinds of pictures, getting all panicky, and oh my God, stressing the heck out of me. Okay, I was with a colleague, and then she started to say, she started to see that this is really crappy, because they were not supposed to send him to the crappy hotel that they sent him. And my understanding, I found out days later, that particular hotel was supposed to be shut down completely. Like nobody was supposed to ever go there to be quarantined during COVID. And so they sent him to this crappy hotel, and I started to get really panicky. And guess what your girl did? Here was my Goliath moment. Your girl showed up at the hotel where he was. They wouldn't let me see him. And I didn't know anything else except, okay, is he okay? Is he hungry? And to make sure he was okay. So I showed up at the crappy hotel. Sure enough, I confronted the soldiers that were there. Yes, I did. I confronted them. And that was a bold move. But fight or flight or fight, right? That's my blood. That's my family. I'm going to do whatever it takes to protect him, to make sure he's okay. Whether that was my brother, my mom, my dad, my cousin, don't matter. Family's family, and we're in a foreign country. I don't know what's happening, but I knew what was going to happen, but they were not supposed to send him to this particular hotel. And so I confronted the soldiers. I confronted the soldiers that were there. And I got their phone numbers. And I said, okay, showed them my dip passport, showed them who I was. And they were like, we're going to have to wait for that PCR test, which was the COVID test. And that could have taken either a day, 3 days, or 4 days. They were not going to release him until we got those results. So I went to go talk to the hotel supervisor, and I had brought McDonald's food to my brother, and I told the supervisor of the hotel, general manager, I said, I'm not leaving. My brother needs to eat, because I didn't know what they were feeding him or if they even fed him. I'm like, he's gonna eat this chicken sandwich. He's gonna eat this meal that I got him. Therefore, I'm not leaving until you get it to him. So they thought I was kidding. So your girl went outside, waited in the car with my colleague, patiently waiting and observing the whole time. They were nonchalant. They were taking their time. The food was already cold by then. In the meantime, my brother's texting me, where's my food? And getting me stressed, okay? So I waited a good 10 minutes, maybe 15, I don't remember. Went back in there and I said, why is the food still sitting outside? Because they had put it outside in some kind of bin and some kind of box or whatever. I said, why is it still sitting there? Why haven't you got anybody to go and take this meal to my brother? And so eventually he got his meal, and I got the phone number that I needed to contact, and I went home, called one of my prayer warriors. I was frantic, I was nervous, I was stressed. And she said, calm down. God's got him. God's in that room with him. You just need to chill, pray, and trust. So I calmed down, and I kid you not, you guys, at 2 a.m, okay, the Holy Spirit woke me up. The Lord just woke me up and said, the results are in. The results are in. Wasn't even 24 hours. The results are in. So my brother was still jet lagged, and I was pinging him at 5 a.m. Finally, I called him at 6 something in the morning. I said, check the results now. You should have your results now. Sure enough, he had it. Thankfully, it was a negative, but he still had a quarantine. And so since I showed up the day before, made negotiation talks, okay? They're like, okay, so I text the soldier to the number, and I said, here's the result, here's a copy. When can I pick up my brother? He said, pick him up at 7:30. I said, bet, I'll be there. Thankfully, my colleague, she allowed me to borrow her car, and I took my happy butt over there. It was like I got him out of prison real quick. He was all sweaty and nervous, and we got his luggage, we got everything, and he was thankful. I was thankful. He wasn't even in there 24 hours, whereas other people, they could have been there 3 days, 4 or 5 days, right? So when he got out, we were driving back to my place. We had a quarantine. That was a Monday. I picked him up Monday morning. We quarantined until Saturday morning, I think, something like that. And then we were able to explore. But it was something that tested my my boldness. It stretched my stress levels, okay? And I'm sure my brother was praying too. Because here he was in a foreign country, didn't know the language, was jet lagged, hungry, tired. It was a long flight, and then stressing the heck out of me, sending me pictures of the ghetto nasty hotel. That was for real dingy. And they shouldn't have had anybody up in that hotel. They did wrong. Because they should have shut that thing down like it was supposed to be the summer before. Like summer 2021, they're supposed to shut that thing down. And it was still up and running for these situations in 2022. Okay? So we were able to have a great time or whatever. But that was one of my Goliath this year in confronting and making sure my brother was out of that nasty hotel, confronting the soldiers, demanding they give my brother his meal. Okay? And once we got those results, bam, I went and picked him up and got him out of there. Okay? That was the first Goliath, I would say. The second Goliath was in April. That drove me almost to the point where I wanted to leave and go back home permanently. Okay? So April was crazy. We had Ramadan, we had Easter, we had Passover, we had the Orthodox that they celebrate, everything in that month. Okay? And the old city was packed. And there were other things going on in which I constantly was having safe alerts go off on my phone at 11 at night, 2 in the morning. I couldn't go back to sleep. In addition to that, work, we still got a merger going on. Okay? It's not a regular functioning embassy. It's not. It's, you could say it's a 2-mission, 3-mission, tri-mission, 4-mission post. Okay? So we're dealing, the embassy, we're dealing with the Israelis, the Palestinians, people that work at the West Banks, checkpoints. You got to know where to go, when to go, what time to go. And then you got safe alerts going on that I'm not able to go back to sleep. And so I'm losing sleep, I'm stressed, and I'm tired. And you got to pull an 8, 9, 10-hour day the next day at work. Your girl was done. Okay? And so that was April. And I was like, for real, God, you for real sending me out here? Did you really for real make this way? Okay? God's like, yep, I didn't make any mistakes. I sent you. That was a Goliath moment, was April, because I was ready to get out of here by like that August. And then God was like, nope, my grace is sufficient. Nope, you can do all things through me who strengthens you. So a friend of mine called me up. What was it? Why it sounds like a cat up in here? Anyway, there are a bunch of cats in Jerusalem, by the way. And I don't like cats. So that's another story. But God's like, no, I sent you there. I ain't make no mistakes. You ain't going nowhere. So I said, okay. Okay, cool. I can do it. I can do another year here. I can do another year. Okay, I got this. I got this. Okay, Lord. Prayer. Okay. So when was it? I think it was this summer, right? The third Goliath. So the first Goliath was my brother and the COVID nasty hotel. The second was the April, all kinds of craziness in the old city where safe alerts are going and I can't sleep. Oh my God, that is so annoying. And then the third thing was when the rockets hit. I think it was in July. Here I am. I kid you guys. I kid you not. True story. I'm not making this stuff up. The Lord sent someone from back home to contact me and said, Rosie, I don't know why, but I got a word from the Lord. And I know this person, childhood friend. She's like family to me, okay? So I was like, she don't just reach out just to reach out, okay? I said, okay. Here I am in my living room, minding my business. And she and I, we start talking. She started sharing with me. Hold on. They're real loud up in here. Can you guys hear me? I hope you can hear me, because this is really annoying. Let me wait for a minute. That's another thing, that in Jerusalem, it's not just one language. Okay, I got English, of course, but it's Arabic, it's Hebrew. The West is Hebrew, the East is Arabic. Okay? So when I would get in taxis before I had my car, I would be like, okay, are you Toda or Shukron? Toda means thank you in Hebrew, and Shukron means thank you in Arabic. These guys are interrupting my flow. And I could restart this, but I'm not, because this is how it is. You see this? A cat is going on over here somewhere, and then somebody interrupted my video flow. Anyway, so what did I say? So the first one was the COVID hotel with my brother. The second was the April craziness, and the safe alerts. The third was in July. I think it was in July, where out of nowhere, again, this family friend calls me, and as we're talking, she's giving me a word that God told her to give me. Okay? As we're talking, I'm still trying to figure out, is that a cat or is that, because no cats are supposed to be in the gym. So, so the third thing is, as we're talking, we're getting ready to pray, when all of a sudden I get a safe alert. There were rockets that were starting from Gaza to Tel Aviv, and I got the alerts. And I didn't know what was happening per se. So I said, you know what? I hate to do this, but we got to cut this short. We couldn't even pray. Because the rockets were going off. That was a Friday night, and it lasted until Sunday night. That entire weekend was ruined for me, because I couldn't go anywhere that weekend. And it wasn't the first time that I was locked in my own house. There were several times where I had to be locked in, that I couldn't go anywhere, or the traffic was interrupted, or some kind of shenanigan that interrupted my weekend, my day, my evening, whatever. Okay? That was that period between, I would say, March, April, May time frame. I was wiped out. So the next thing you know, we get off the phone. We couldn't even finish praying. And I said, you know what? We got off the phone, and all of a sudden, it's like the enemy tried to bring this spirit of fear over me. Because I looked around my place. I said, I'm by myself. Lord. And it was like fear was trying to take a grip on me. And the Lord's like, you ain't by yourself. I'm with you. Now go to sleep and rest in peace. Go to sleep and don't worry. And I did. I went to sleep. The next day I went to the gym, because the gym wasn't that far from me. And then my peeps called me, my brother, my mom, and I just started crying. I started releasing it. I was like, this is crazy. I'm here by myself. Here's some rockets going on. Although I'm safe and sound and God's got me, but it can strike a nerve. And the friend of mine that was on the phone with me the night before said to me, Rosie, I don't know how you do it, because I couldn't do it. You're there by yourself. And she heard the phone go off, my other phone, my work phone, go off with the safe alert. She said, I don't know how you do it, because I couldn't do it. And another friend who visited me in April, when she spent the night, she also said, girl, I couldn't do this. What you doing? I couldn't be overseas by myself and do what you do. I couldn't do it. And so it was 3 days of rockets. And finally there was a ceasefire where Egypt interceded. And that was around July, I think. July, August, I forgot. And I said, okay, Lord. Okay. My 3 Goliaths this year, you guys. My 3 Goliath this year. Family in COVID, nasty hotel that I had to go face the military and get his butt out in less than 24 hours. The second was the April craziness that I couldn't sleep. Safe alerts going off constantly. Couldn't sleep. Something going on. I had my visitor, and she saw the craziness here that happened in April. And by the 10th day, she was like, I'm ready to go home. And then the third were the rockets. And I was by myself one Friday night when it started, because God sent me somebody to come, call me up and pray. Okay? So I shared this, even though you see how crazy it is here, that somebody interrupted my chat. I'm here in the corner of the gym, minding my business, okay? And here comes people just talking. Sounds like a cat going on here. One of the things that annoys me here in the city, seriously, in driving, is when the light is about to turn either green or red, the yellow comes on first. So the yellow comes on, and then it either turns red or green. Or, I'm sorry, if it's red and the yellow light comes on and is about to turn green, they're already honking. At first it annoyed me. Annoyed me. Then eventually I just got used to it. But you talk about city drama. I'm talking that. You see cats everywhere here. I'm not a cat. A lot of people are cat people. I'm not a cat person at all. I'm a dog person. I'm not a cat person. Then the city here, you gotta be careful. You gotta have some strong thighs to walk around these hills. Up and down the hills. It's like this. The hills here are like this. You go up, you go down. The whole city is like that. It's an ancient city. Ancient ruins everywhere. But as crazy as this place is, it's got a piece of my heart that will be here forever, that has connected me. And I have about, 6-7 months left. And there's like a pull that I'm going to really miss this place. I may return back. I may come back as a tourist or who knows what, right? But it's going to be 2 years before I leave. It's going to be 2 years living here. This is not an easy city to live. I've picked up some words in Hebrew, some words in Arabic. I don't even try to read at all, but I've learned enough to defend myself, whether I'm in East Jerusalem or West Jerusalem. And I'm tired, but at the same token, I know who sent me here. Even when I started to doubt, like, am I really supposed to be here? I was like, yes, you are. Yes, you are. There's no mistakes. Okay? So what have your Goliath moments been this year? I know this is a little lengthy, but this is not scripted. I share as I feel led to share. And I just want to share my Goliath moments from 2022, you guys. It's been real. This year has not been easy. It's been challenging and rewarding. But I still stand by God's grace. And so are you. We made it. We made it, you guys. We pulled through 2022. We're days away from 2023, a year of transition, a year of greatness, a year of divine intervention and divine connection, a year of divine purpose being fulfilled. And everything that's led up to that point has been preparation. God bless you. Stay strong, stay focused, and understand who sent you. Understand who is behind you. If God be for you, who or what can be against you? As we say here, shalom. Peace.